In this video, we will discuss the International Monetary Fund, IMF. What is IMF? The International Monetary Fund, or IMF, promotes international financial stability and monetary cooperation. So it is an international institution which stands for promoting international financial stability and monetary cooperation among member countries. It also facilitates international trade, promotes employment and sustainable economic growth, and helps to reduce global poverty. The IMF is governed by and accountable to its 190 member countries. So today, IMF has 190 member countries. Some basic facts about IMF. Total membership of 190 countries. It is headquartered at Washington, D.C., United States of America. And it has an executive board consisting of 24 directors, each representing a single country or a group of countries. The largest borrowers from IMF are Argentina, Egypt, Ukraine, and Pakistan. What are the primary aims of IMF? To promote international monetary cooperation, facilitate the expansion and balanced growth of international trade among member countries, to promote exchange rate stability, to assist in the establishment of a multilateral system of payments, to make resources available with adequate safeguards to members experiencing balance of payment difficulties. Founding and mission. The IMF was conceived in July 1944 at the United Nations Bretton Woods Conference in New Hampshire, United States. The 44 countries in attendance sought to build a framework for international economic cooperation and avoid repeating the competitive currency devaluations that contributed to the Great Depression of the 1930s. So, you know the 1930s depression, in which many of the capitalist economies were engulfed or they were struggling to come out of this Great Depression in 1930s. One reason which led to this Great Depression was the competitive currency devaluations among the countries. IMF, one important objective was to avoid any repetition of the competitive currency devaluation by the countries, which would again contribute to Great Depressions. So the 44 countries which attended the Bretton Woods Conference in New Hampshire, United States, took a decision to establish IMF with the intention of promoting international economic cooperation and avoiding repetitive competitive currency devaluations. The IMF's primary mission is to ensure the stability of the international monetary system. A system, the system of exchange rates and international payments that enables countries and their citizens to transact with each other. So the IMF primary mission is to ensure the stability of the international monetary system. Vision of IMF. According to the vision set out for the future of IMF, it would strive to promote sustained non-inflationary economic growth that benefits all people of the world. So sustaining non-inflationary economic growth. Then it would be the center of competence for the stability of the international financial system. It would focus on its core macroeconomic and financial areas of responsibility, working in a complementary fashion with other institutions established to safeguard global public goods. It would be an open institution, learning from experience and dialogue and adapting continuously to changing circumstances. The organization and management of IMF. The highest authority governing the IMF is the Board of Governors. And Board of Governors meets once a year at the annual meetings of the IMF and the World Bank. Each member country appoints a governor, usually the country's Minister of Finance or the governor of its central bank, and an alternate governor. So each member country appoints a governor and an alternate governor. The Board of Governors decides on major policy issues, but has delegated day-to-day decision-making to the Executive Board. So day-to-day decision-makings will be taken by the Executive Board. And Executive Board consists of 24 executive directors with the managing director as the chairman. The IMF's 5 largest shareholders are the United States, Japan, Germany, France, and the United Kingdom. They, along with China, Russia, and Saudi Arabia, have their own seats on the board. So United States, Japan, Germany, France, United Kingdom, China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, these countries have their own seats on the board. What are the resources of IMF, or from where IMF gets resources? There are 2 sources of funds for the IMF. One is quotas and subscriptions. Every member of the fund, that is IMF, is required to subscribe to the fund an amount equivalent to its quota. Each member is designed a quota expressed in special drawing rights, SDR. We have discussed this SDR in another video. Now, second important source, so first source of IMF is, or first source of fund for the IMF is quotas and subscriptions. But if quotas and subscriptions are not sufficient, and if the IMF feels that it is necessary to get more fund than what it gets through these subscriptions, then it can go for borrowings. If necessary, the IMF may borrow to supplement the resources available from its quotas. So these are the important sources of resources for IMF. One is subscription, quotas and subscriptions, and the second is borrowings. So with this, we end this video, and we have discussed what is this IMF and some basic facts about IMF. What are the aims of IMF and how was it found? Now, what are the visions of IMF and what is the structure of organization and management of IMF, and what are the important sources of IMF? So with this, we end this video here.